people ask, like last time, what is a Cunningham? A Cunningham is set into the sale so that what has happened was the sail makers, people are complaining, all boats that race, especially class boats, have on their mast a point of which the sails cannot go lower than. If they do, they're disqualified. Okay? So what do? We can have a sail a little shorter on the luff, so when we take it up, it doesn't quite get to that point on the boom, on the mast, and then we pull it tight downhaul, which brings the boom down, and in return makes this stiffer. In other words, tighter. Okay? But you don't want it so tight that you have wrinkles on here. Because you have wrinkles on here, your sail isn't going to be doing what it's supposed to do. Okay? But what happened was the sail maker, people complained, they said, well, you know, I can get 2 more inches of sail if you give me a fuller sail. So they said, okay, fine. So they give you a fuller sail, which means when you take it up and your boom comes down, automatically your boom will sit as low as it can sit, but what happens is that you have too full a sail. And now you don't want it that full. And the reason we don't want it that full is because a sail which is very full usually has its pressure further back. In other words, closer to the center of the sail, which is over here, than where it should be over here, most of the time. So you don't want that fullness. So how are you going to avoid the fullness? They came out with a thing called the Cunningham. Now what is a Cunningham? A Cunningham gives you enough sail, the most sail one can have, but yet you can't pull any lower to get the sail properly set. Okay? So how are we going to get the sail properly set? We use what is known as a Cunningham. And it's a line which is usually a foot or two above the boom. And it's pulled down so that this becomes tighter, and yet you don't go below the line. And that's what a Cunningham is. If you don't use a Cunningham and you have a full sail, you've got a problem.
And what happens with that 1 foot or two? Is it okay that it's curved slightly?
When it's cut, what do you mean 1 foot or so?
That bunched up, that sail, when you pull the Cunningham down, then you have that lower part of the sail looser.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. The foot, if you bring down the luff, and this thing, only bringing, by the way, only bringing the luff down maybe 2-3 inches. You're not going down a foot. That's on the sail.
Sure.
You know, your sail isn't up here. You know, it's just off here. But what we're trying to tell you is that, again, the things we're talking about is something which is more sophisticated. Okay? The person who just goes out for a sail, you don't have to worry about these things. But if you want to get more out of your boat, these are the things you have to start.
But we're becoming more sophisticated. We're becoming more sophisticated.
Well, let's hope so. It isn't necessary to go sailing, but, you know. So, it's very important, number one, before you get the main up, to make sure it's sitting properly, and if it isn't, play with your outhaul, play with your downhaul, play with your halyard. Okay? And in doing so, what you want most of your energy just in front, well, between the center of the sail and the front of the sail. Because that will give you the pull that you'll need as you go upwind. And we'll discuss that a little later.